So I'm back in Leawood, Kansas. This is where I started my trip this summer when I headed west and I ended up in California. And so today I'm gonna head east and I'm gonna go through US 50 in Missouri. I'm only gonna go through Missouri. I'm not gonna go any farther east than Missouri on this little trip. But I had a lot of requests after I did the US 50 route west. And so yeah, let's check out US 50 east for at least through the state of Missouri. US 50 crosses into Missouri from Kansas in Kansas City and is in basically the Kansas City suburbs for a little while until we start to get more into the rural areas, heading out past Warrensburg. Kind of like when I went on US 50 this summer, there's different versions of 50 and there's old roads and there's old Highway 50, new 50, there's expressways, there's like this, I'm on a old 2-lane road that that goes through the town of Elm, or what it used to be Elm, and then there's the 50 of today that bypasses this. So I'm gonna try my best to go through all the towns, and I would imagine that most of these towns, the road did connect them. Continue on US 50 through Sedalia, and then you'll see there at Otterville we'll get on old Route 50, which is a little bit north of today's 50. then back on 50, and then as we go through California, we'll stay north of 50 to go through Centertown, and basically this takes us over to Jefferson City. I decided to stop here in Sedalia to take a little break, get out of the vehicle for a little bit, stretch my legs. It's a little over halfway to where we're going. And they have the Missouri State Fair here. And behind me they have what's called the Trails West Monument. And that was because when they were building the railroads west, they had to stop construction for a while during the Civil War. And this is basically where they stopped construction. And then as the war started winding down, they started building the railroads out to the west again. So a pretty historic area here. A lot to see here. You know, with the state fair here, obviously it's a tourist attraction for certain times of the year, and the fairgrounds have a lot of interesting things. And you know, a lot of these bigger cities, towns, I'm just kind of breezing through, showing you some highlights. There's a lot more to do than what I'm showing you, but thought I'd just kind of, you know, cruise on through, stop for a short little break and show you some of the highlights. But cool place to stop here in Missouri as we're heading on towards Jefferson City. One of the reasons I usually visit the towns that are just a mile or so north or south of US 50 is because they used to be on US 50, and that's the next one. The road it's on is old US 50, and so that's what I'm taking to get to Otterville. So I might miss a few of those here and there, but definitely trying to catch all the ones that used to be on the road and unfortunately now has been bypassed. Went from 4 lanes to 2 lanes somewhere around Sedalia, and definitely feeling more rural out here. This part feels, you know, nice, and definitely enjoying these small towns in Missouri. So here's an example of old 50 and new 50. And that goes bypass all these towns like California we just went through. And this was the original one that went through all the towns. So we're gonna stay on this as much as we can. We have made it to Jefferson City. That's pretty much where we're going to end for today, and the sun is basically setting as we speak, so good timing. Stopped here in Sedalia, Missouri, where they have the state fair. A little bit over halfway for where we're going today, and they have this pretty cool called the Trails End. Let's start over.